Meet Detective Rabbit, on the hunt for bad guys. He's been sniffing out crimes for 15 years. Today, he's going into the office for another tough day of solving crime.
Hello? Yes. I see. Okay, I'll be right there. Goodbye.
Detective Rabbit arrives at the scene. Barnyard champion fence jumper Sheep is dead on the floor.
What seems to have happened here, officer?
We got a call from his friend Chicken. He was supposed to meet him for practice for their upcoming tournament. He was worried when Sheep did not arrive. He came to check on Sheep and called us when he found his friend like this. He is downtown at the station right now, giving his statement.
Thanks for the information. I know you weren't feeling well last week. Did you make it into the doctor?
Yes. Luckily, it appears that it was just a cold. Dr. Elephant gave me a prescription. However, the past few days, I've been feeling a little worse. Maybe I have to wait a few days for the medicine to start to work.
I'm sorry that you aren't feeling better, but it sounds like it isn't a big issue. Sometimes it takes a few days for the medicine to take effect and for you to start feeling better. I hope you feel better soon.
After talking to Dog, Rabbit starts looking around the apartment. He notices there's lots of trophies and medals displayed on the wall. Sheep is laying on the floor with a trophy beside him. It appears to have been recently used to drink something. Rabbit takes the trophy and a sample of the liquid to have them tested and used as potential evidence. Detective Rabbit has decided to interview Sheep's close friends and anyone who saw him right before his death. Detective Rabbit first meets with Sheep's friend Chicken to discuss the night before Sheep's death.
So I understand that you had dinner with Sheep the night before he died. Do you mind telling me what all happened?
Well, Sheep had come in third place at the fence jumping tournament the previous day, so we decided to grab dinner to celebrate.
Did anything suspicious happen while you were together?
Nothing that I can think of. We were just excited about his accomplishment.
Did he go meet anyone else after hanging out with you? Or did he have plans this morning that you might know of?
Yeah, he said that he was going to get coffee with Bear tomorrow morning.
Is there any other information that you think might be helpful in this investigation?
Sheep did hurt his back during one of his recent competitions. I think Dr. Elephant treated him. Other than that, I can't think of anything else.
Well, let me know if you can think of anything else peculiar that might have happened.
Detective Rabbit goes to Bear's house to interview him. Bear had coffee with Sheep the morning of his death, which makes him a prime source of information.
So, I hear you met with Sheep the morning he died. Did you notice anything different about the way he was acting?
Yeah, I saw him for a brief period that morning, but no, there was nothing odd about him. He was just his normal perky self, cracking jokes and everything.
What did you guys talk about, if you don't mind me asking?
Normal stuff. We talked about his dinner the night before with Chicken. We talked about sports, his fence jumping competition, which he was so proud of. Did you know he got third place? He was so excited, he even used his award to drink his coffee.
Well, thanks for your help. If you can think of anything else, please give me a call.
Rabbit is arriving at the doctor's office. He plans to interview Dr. Elephant next.
So, I understand that you saw Sheep for an injury he sustained from his fence jumping competition.
That's right. He hurt his back, so I gave him some pain medicine and some exercises he should do to help it and strengthen it.
Interesting. Did he happen to say anything about feeling sick or anything like that?
No, he just said he hurt his back, probably from all the work he has been putting to practicing with Chicken for his competition.
All right. Thanks for your help. If you hear anything else, you know how to get a hold of me. Hello? Oh, hi, Professor Al. Do you have the results of the necropsy on Sheep?
Yes, it appears he suffered from severe liver damage, most likely in acute form.
I see. What kind of things can cause liver damage in sheep?
Well, the biggest factor affecting liver damage in sheep is a copper toxicity. You see, sheep do not have a necessary enzyme to clear copper from their liver, so when ingested, copper gets stored there. Eventually, they can no longer store more copper. Their liver gets full, so to speak, and this causes damage to their liver tissue. And the copper begins to spill out into their bloodstream. This is a problem because copper lyses red blood cells.
So would he or anyone around him know he was suffering from this?
There are no symptoms of copper toxicity in sheep. You typically don't notice it until the animal is dead. Sheep require about 4 to 8 parts per million of copper in their diet, but they can't handle more than 20 to 25 parts per million for an extended period of time. So there's a fine line between what is required and what is toxic.
So, how might have he received a toxic level of copper?
Copper toxicity occurs when the animal ingests copper from their food or from other sources in their environment, such as if the mill that created their food was not cleaned properly after formulating feed for another species, especially pigs because they have copper added into their diet. Or if there are any other objects in their environment that contain copper, like where they eat or drink from or in their housing environment.
Wait, did you say where they drink from?
Detective Rabbit has decided to look back at the evidence from the crime scene. He has an idea of what might have happened.
Alright, so this is the cup that was found at the scene. It's the same cup from the fence jumping competition. This is the same cup that Bear said he used to drink his coffee the morning he died. Just as I suspected, this cup is made of copper. The third place prize from the competition was a copper cup instead of a bronze. This was not a murder. It was an accident.
Detective Rabbit is going to Officer Dog's house to tell him how he solved the case, but he finds a disturbing scene.
Officer Dog? He's dead!
Detective Rabbit calls an investigation team out to the crime scene, and they begin to go over the details of Officer Dog's death. After a short time, Detective Rabbit notices a bottle of medicine lying near Officer Dog on the floor.
Alright guys, make sure you send this into the lab for testing. I've got a weird feeling about these pills. Ah, yes, I see. Theobromine? What is that? Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to call my expert again.
Hello? This is Dr. Owl speaking.
Hello again, Dr. Owl. I have another investigation I need some help with. One of our officers was found dead in his house a few days ago, and we just got some of the lab results back. I faxed you over a copy of the report. It seems the medication that he was taking for his cold was not what it was supposed to be. The medicine actually contained theobromine. I was wondering if you could tell me about that.
Yes, I see. Theobromine would definitely be a problem in a medication for a dog. It's a chemical compound most commonly found in chocolate, and it's very toxic to dogs.
Well, what exactly is it that theobromine does to dogs?
Theobromine acts like a weaker version of caffeine in the body. It primarily affects the central nervous system, the cardiovascular system, and the respiratory system. It also acts as a diuretic. Essentially, it works as a vasodilator, meaning that it dilates blood vessels, and it also increases heart rate. This combination of a rapid heart rate and dilated blood vessels causes the blood pressure to drop quite low. Theobromine is also suspected to induce right atrial cardiomyopathy, or a heart condition, after long-term exposure to high levels of the chemical.
I understand, but some animals can eat chocolate, right? So why is it so toxic to dogs in particular?
The reason it's so toxic to dogs is because their bodies are unable to metabolize it in the way other animals are. The half-life, or the time it takes for half of the chemical to be metabolized in the dog's body, is roughly 17.5 hours, while in a human, it's only 2 to 3 hours. This causes them to have dangerously low blood pressure for an extended period of time, which can lead to increased body temperature, vomiting, and even seizures. Theobromine can also be reabsorbed by the bladder, causing it to stay in the body even longer.
Wow. Okay, so what levels of this chemical would be lethal to a dog?
Well, if we base it off of the amount of chocolate ingested, 1 ounce of milk chocolate per pound of body weight is a potentially lethal dose in dogs. And milk chocolate contains about 40 to 60 milligrams per ounce theobromine. So approximately 1 to 1.5 grams of theobromine would be a lethal dose to a dog of 25 pounds.
So, depending on the length of time the drug stayed in his system, he could have ingested that much more over the course of a few days, right?
He definitely could have ingested enough to hurt him, or even make him sick. But based on the amount in the medicine from the report that you sent me, he would have had to have been taking his medicine at an inappropriate dosage. Perhaps he was taking too much?
Well, I remember him telling me he wasn't feeling better, so he started taking more of his medicine. Anyway, well, thanks for your help, Dr. Al.
Happy to help.
So, Dr. Elephant gave him the medicine. Surely he should know how theobromine affects dogs. It's time to ask him a few more questions. Elephant, we need to have a talk.
Sure. What do you need, Detective?
So I went to Dog's house earlier to share with him the news about what I discovered happened to Sheep. When I got to his house, he didn't answer his door. His door is unlocked, and when I went in, Elephant, Dog is dead.
What?
He told me earlier that he hadn't been feeling well, and that he'd been in to see you.
Yeah, he came and saw me.
I found a bottle of pills at his house, and I recalled he said that you had prescribed him some pills when he saw you last. I'm sure someone with your education would know that theobromine is very toxic to dogs. So why would you prescribe something to Dog that you should know is extremely toxic to him?
Well, okay, fine, I did it. I gave him theobromine. That guy locked my brother up last year and I wanted to see him pay. So when he came in saying he felt under the weather, I thought I'd give him the pills to make him suffer for a few days. I didn't plan to kill them though.
Well, whether you planned to or not, you did.
I only gave him enough for him to get sick. He must have taken more than I had prescribed. Rabbit, you gotta believe me. I would never have done it if I knew.
I know, Elephant. I know.
It was a challenging day, but Rabbit can finally head home with his head held high. Another day of successfully solving mysteries. Rabbit looks forward to what tomorrow will bring.